Hello, eighth graders. Sorry I couldn't be with you today, but thankful we have the opportunity to continue moving forward. So we're still looking at slope-intercept form of linear equations. Last week we looked at just graphing it or coming up with the equation actually, and today we're going to look at coming up with the equation just given 2 points, and then also a little bit of review of graphing. So everybody's going to do this depending on which homework assignment you do, whether today or tomorrow. So it's worthwhile to do this, and I would encourage most of you to just try this if I was realize assignment today, because I think it is straightforward. And with the technology you have using a calculator, even the ones with the difficult, I shouldn't even say difficult numbers or even with the fractions, should be within your means. So you're given an equation with a line with 2 points, and we want to write the equation of this line in slope-intercept form. So we need to calculate both the slope and the y-intercept. Okay. So it's a relatively straightforward process for it. We're going to go through it twice. The first thing we need to do is, given these 2 points, is calculate the slope. This is something we know how to do. We did this a week ago, maybe even 2 weeks ago, depending on the number of times we had classes. Okay, so slope, of course, is the change in y over the change in x. So I do 8 minus 6 in my numerator, which is the y values. So my denominator is keeping consistent. I did 2 minus 4. I get 2 over negative 2, or a slope of negative 1. Okay, so now that I have the slope, I need to calculate what b is. Now, if you think of the equation y equals mx plus b, in order to calculate what b is, I need a value for x, I need a value for y, and I need a value for the slope. Well, I have the value for the slope right here, and over here I have 2 points that could be the x and y value. So what I'm going to do is going to plug in the slope, or substitute the slope for m, and 1 point for x and y, and then solve for b. It does not matter which point I choose. I should get exactly the same answer using both points. So that's also a good way to check. Okay. So I forgot which one I chose. Let's see. I chose the 8, 2. So there's the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. I put 8 in place of y. I put negative 1 in place of the slope, m. I put 2 in place of x. And now I need to solve the equation. So I multiply negative 1 times 2, and I get negative 2. Give me 8 equals negative 2 plus b. Add 2 to both sides, and I get b equals 10. Okay, so again, what I did there was I took one of the points and the slope, which we figured out in step 1, plugged it into slope-intercept form, solve for b. So now that I know the slope is negative 1 and the intercept is negative 10, I can put negative 1 in place of m, I can put 10 in place of b, and that gives me slope-intercept form of y equals negative 1x plus 10. Or really, in simplified form, would just be y equals negative x plus 10. Again, you don't necessarily need to write in that 1. And that's basically the process. It's a relatively straightforward process. Okay. And a good way to check this, again, is if I plugged in 4 and 6 here, I should get the same thing. Or again, if I plug in both of these points into this equation, I should get the same thing. Notice if I put 6 in place of y and 4 in place of x, I would have y equals negative 4 plus 10, which it certainly does, or 8 equals negative 2 plus 10. So both of those points work in the equation, which tells me this equation is right. So I'm just going to do one more. And I'm going to add a couple of negatives just to show you it works either way. So again, the first thing is we're going to find the slope. When I calculate out the slope, it's 9 minus 6 I'm going to choose over negative 6 minus negative 4, which gives me negative 3 over 2, or negative 3 halves. Okay, that's fine. Either way, again, having a negative in the denominator is not usually proper form, but that's fine. So the next step I actually put all on one slide. The next 2 steps are all on one slide, so I'll just go through it step by step. So step 2 is substitute the slope and 1 point to solve for b. Is y equals mx plus b. So I chose 6, negative 4. Oh, negative 4 is 6, sorry. Put negative 4 in place of x, negative 3 over 2 in place of the slope, and 6 in place of y. Negative 3 over 2 times negative 4 is positive 6. Subtract 6 from both sides, I get b equals 0. Okay. And again, if I plugged in negative 6 and 9, I should have gotten exactly the same thing. It should be the same either way. So substitute negative 3 over 2 for slope and 0 for the y-intercept. I just get y equals negative 3 over 2x. I don't need to write plus 0. Okay, so that's basically it. It's a fairly straightforward two-step process. Okay, again, nothing there is really overly difficult arithmetic-wise. It's just keeping track of everything as you're going along. Okay, if you choose to do the IXL assignment, you'll be doing this tomorrow. So I sort of encourage you to give this one a try today. Okay, but if not, the IXL assignment is just plotting, let's see, graphing lines using slope-intercept form. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. So plotting the lines, okay, slope-intercept is negative 5. Slope is 7/5, which means it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's your point. Okay, and so forth. So that's it for today. I expect you'll be able to finish this for classwork today. And again, I encourage you to look for quality, not quantity. I'm expecting good scores. If you have questions while you're working, talk with each other, ask one of your peers. That's perfectly fine. You can do that. Okay? So have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow.